Hey guys, Johnny Soda here, back again to another movie review, and today we'll be reviewing Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory. Now, you guys may be wondering, like, why are you reviewing Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory when you should be reviewing more Pixar movies? I'm gonna review Incredibles 2 next, but I just thought I should just review Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory because today the movie is now 50 years old. Can you believe that? It is 50 years old and it still holds up today. And Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory is a timeless classic. It is such a masterpiece. I love it to death. So that's why I wanted to review this movie. This movie is directed by Mel Stewart and features a huge cast. So, if you guys want to skip me saying names, just skip 20 seconds or something. It features Gene Wilder, Peter Ostrom, Jack Albertson, Julie Dawn Cole, Denise Nickerson, Paris Lemon, Diana Sowie, Michael Bolner, Roy Kindar, who else? Nora Denny, Gunter Meisner, Leonard Stone, Aubrey Woods, David Bentley, and Peter Stewart. So the plot of Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory, you might all know the plot. And just so you guys know, this review will contain spoilers. So if you have not seen the movie, please leave this review. But if you haven't seen this movie, what the fuck are you doing, man? I don't even know a single person I've met who hasn't seen this movie. Actually, like all my friends have seen this movie. I remember I've seen this movie since I was like 3 years old, actually, and I even remember I watched this movie in first grade too. We read the Charlie and Chocolate Factory book when I was in first grade, and then we saw it in the class. Yeah, that was such a good day, and it was so cool, like seeing like the whole class's reaction to the movie. Let's get into the plot now. So the plot, very simple. We follow with Charlie. Charlie is this poor little kid who lives like outside of town. He just lives in this very small house. He lives with his mom, all his grandparents, and all the grandparents do is just they all sit in this one big bed that they share, and they're all just staying there, and while the mom is just cooking for them, and Charlie is just exploring the town, and he's trying to make a bit more money, and he's helping the newspaper person sell newspapers, and he's getting paid a little bit of cash for it. He's just very poor, and then there's this chocolate factory to like this big chocolate factory that is inside the town, and he's always been curious about that chocolate factory, and he knows that no one ever goes in that chocolate factory, no one ever comes out, and so his grandpa tells him like, yeah, it is true, Charlie, but Mr. Wonka closed down that factory because that there were because like other candy makers were getting jealous of Mr. Wonka, and they hired spies dressed up as workers to try to steal the secret recipes. And so Mr. Wonka had to close down the factory for that, and since then it's been closed. But the grandpa and Charlie have always wanted to see what's been inside that chocolate factory. Like, who's the workers? Like, how is their candy still being made? Like, they've always been curious about it because the candy there is so good and it's still being shipped, and everyone admires Mr. Wonka because of how good all his candy is. What else was I gonna say? And then Mr. Wonka, he decides to put 5 tickets, like 5 golden tickets and 5 ordinary Wonka bars all over the world. Like just 5 kids from around the world can get a golden ticket and be Wonka's special guest to his chocolate factory for one whole day. And so, the 5 kids end up fighting the golden tickets, and then once they do, the whole movie is all the 5 kids inside the factory, and basically just them exploring and all of that, and the kids being in accidents. Yeah, that's basically the whole plot of Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory. Like I said, yeah, I love this movie. I love Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory. Like, it's amazing. Like, it's beautiful too. So colorful too. This movie is unbelievably gorgeous, unbelievably colorful. This movie is exploding with colors. There's like a ton of colors everywhere. Like in the chocolate factory, like in the regular factories where he makes the candy. That whole scene was very colorful. Like literally, like this whole factory is like filled to the max with so much colors, and it's just super eye popping. You go to hell, remake. I mean, Not really. I mean, the remake's okay. I mean, the remake to this, Charlie and the Chocolate Factory, directed by Tim Burton, that movie was okay, but it just completely destroyed the whole ending and all of that. But yeah, but we're not talking about that one. Uh, so yeah, like I said, this movie's mind-boggling. Yeah. What was I gonna say? So yeah, now let's get to the characters of this movie. Now I really love all the characters. All these characters are amazing, and I am super surprised that none of these actors ever became famous. Like they never were in much movies. Like Charlie wasn't even in any movies. He was only in like one TV show, and then the only one to get famous was the girl who played Violet Beauregard, who did a couple of teen movies in the 80s. Who else? And then Julie Dawn Cole. She wasn't that famous, but she was in a bit more movies though. And then Paris Lemon, who played Mike TV, he wasn't even in any movies actually, besides from this. And then same with Augustus Gloop too, but I think they did amazing jobs actually, and I'm super surprised they didn't get a huge career. I mean, I don't know, but I mean, yeah, they didn't really get a huge career. This right here is their career. Yeah, so let's start off with the characters with Charlie. Now I love Charlie so much. Charlie is amazing. He's so cool. Like I just love how poor he is, and he literally does not want this life. Like he's okay with this life, but he wants to have more than all the other kids have had. Like he wants the golden ticket. Like he wants to be the one to win the golden ticket because he wants to be more than any other kid in the world is. Like he wants to have what no kid in the world can get. Like only just 4 kids in the world can get. And yeah, and I really love that a lot. And I love that scene where he's just walking around just so sad and his mother is singing to him. That scene's beautiful. And yeah, and he has so much emotional scenes in this movie. He has so much funny scenes in the movie. Yeah, and I just really like the scenes where he's with his grandpa, where him and his grandpa are trying to get the golden ticket, and the grandpa is very generous to it. And then even on his birthday, he tells him, "I want to see that gold, Charlie," because they give him a Wonka bar for his birthday. What else is there? About Charlie? Oh yeah, and Charlie, like I really like his whole duo with his grandpa as he's in the chocolate factory, and I love how he's just super grateful being in this factory as once he got that golden ticket. And I love that scene a lot where he gets the golden ticket and then he's just super happy, and then the whole crowd sees and he's like, "Look, the kid's got the last golden ticket," and they all crowd him, and then the newspaper guy's like, "Leave the kid alone, Charlie, run straight home, don't stop until you get there." Yeah, that whole scene was amazing. And then I just all the scenes with him in the factory, like how he's such a nice kid, he is definitely, no question about it. I don't even think it's a debate at all. Like he's he is the most good out of all the kids that are in the Wonka factory. I mean, no dirt. What was I gonna say? Oh yeah, and I really like that scene a lot where him and his grandpa drink the thing to make you fly, and then they're flying in the bubble room. That scene is so much fun, where they're getting the sense of flying, and then that they're having so much fun, but then they see this is scary and they're not stopping, and they're gonna fly so much that they're gonna get to the fan. Yeah, that scene was very suspenseful too. Any other things about Charlie? So yeah, I really like Charlie, and I really like how he's really passionate to get the prize too. The endless supply of chocolate. That's what they get if they're really good in the factory. What was I gonna say? Anything else I just say? I'll talk more about Charlie once I get to the ending of the movie. Now let's talk about Grandpa Joe. I really like Grandpa Joe a lot. Like I like that scene where he. Oh yeah, this movie is a musical too. I forgot to mention that this movie is a lot of a musical, as all of you may know. And I love all the music to this movie too. The soundtrack to this movie is beautiful. I love the whole soundtrack, all the music in this. It's just wow. I love hearing this music so much. It is just super satisfying, very chilling. Like I can always hear whenever I'm chill, whenever I'm never mind. I can always I can hear it anytime actually. It always the music even brings me to tears too. And the Pure Imagination song, it would be a crime not to mention that in this review. Pure Imagination, one of the best pieces of music ever in a movie. Yeah, it's just yeah, I love everything. Yeah, I love the music, just the soundtrack, amazing. Yeah, literally, masterful. Like, yeah. Let me think. And I think the music to this movie honestly holds up as much as the music in Star Wars, honestly. And this movie came out in the 70s too, same as Star Wars. And this, yeah, and what was I gonna say? And this movie has a lot of real effects too, like Star Wars did. Like the effects in most of the effects hold up to this day. Actually, like a lot of the effects in this movie still hold up. Actually, like the end with the elevator looks, oh wow, like I don't even know how to describe it. It just looks gorgeous. Anything else I should say? Yeah. The was it, oh, but there are a little bit of effects here and there that don't hold up today, like the scene with Violet Beauregard turned into a blueberry. That whole scene doesn't really hold up very well. But other scenes, like most scenes, still hold up today. Anything else I just say? Oh yeah, the Oompa Loompas. Yeah, oh, Oompa Loompas. How could I not mention that? The Oompa Loompas. Oompa Loompa doopity dee. If you were wise, you would listen to me. Yeah, the Oompa Loompas are so cool. They always creep out my family. Actually, like whenever I watch this movie with my family, like they always get the creeps from the Oompa Loompas. I personally don't get creeped out from them. I think they're cute. But they honestly look like vegetables, honestly. But yeah. But the Oompa Loompas, like they're amazing. Anything else I just say? Oh yeah, let's get back to Grandpa Joe. I really like Grandpa Joe. I like that scene where he first walks with the cane and then he's like he sings the song "I got a golden ticket, I got a golden chance." Yeah, very funny scene. What was I gonna say? So yeah, I like all this. So yeah, he was a very cool, like he was very chill grandpa. Like he's chill enough as grandpas go. Definitely reminds me a lot of my grandpa. Yeah. So yeah, Grandpa Joe. Like I love. So yeah, Grandpa Joe. Like he's very heartwarming. Like he's very heartwarming, and you can just so tell how chill he is, and it just like yeah, Grandpa Joe. He's an amazing character, and he's always a big company too. Like he always cares for Charlie so much. Like he cares for Charlie more than his mom does actually. Uh, okay, now let's get on to Willy Wonka. Now, Willy Wonka, I love Willy Wonka a lot. I love how happy he is. Like, Willy Wonka is such an amazing character. I like, and I even hear they're gonna make a prequel for Willy Wonka too, starring Timothy Chalamet. I think that's his name, and I think that's a perfect casting for a younger Willy Wonka actually. And I would love to see that. That comes out, I think, 2 years from now, March of 2023, the year I graduate. Yeah, but I can't wait to see that movie. Actually, like I am very curious to see what a prequel to Willy Wonka is, like how he became a chocolatier, how he became a candy man. I am super interested in that, and I hope that is as colorful as this movie too. And what I'm really hoping is that movie to be directed by Wes Anderson. That'd be a perfect choice for a movie like that. I don't know who the director is for that movie, but I really hope it's Wes Anderson. Let me think. What else was I gonna say? Oh yeah, Willy Wonka. Yeah, I just love like how joyful he is. Like everything that's said about Willy Wonka has already been said, but I'm just gonna say it. Like Willy Wonka. Yeah, I love him so much. Like he always has some funny. He has a lot of funny scenes. He's the leader of the chocolate factory. You can so tell that this is the leader of a candy company, like of like a place of good, really good candy. And he's a genius. Like he's a fucking genius. Yeah, and yeah, just Willy Wonka with his cane, always dancing around, and always like accompanying the kids, like always like being in front of the kids. Yeah, he's amazing. Definitely one of the best characters in film. Yeah, and then let's talk about Veruca Salt. Veruca Salt is another really funny character. How she's just this spoiled brat. Like she's definitely the most rotten out of all the kids. She's the most rotten, but she got the least. Like she got the least amount of damage by the end of it. But yeah, she's definitely the most rotten out of all the kids. Like she's the most spoiled. Like she's a bad egg is what they call her, because she always wants stuff, like she always wants this, like she's like, I want this, I want it now, give it to me, give me the golden ticket, I want it, you never give me anything I want, daddy, give it to me. Yeah, it's basically her whole character in this movie, but she is so funny like that though. Like all the scenes with her saying that just always gives me a laugh. And I love that song she sings too. I want a bean feast. And like the song, I want it now or I'm going to scream. Yeah, that song was very entertaining. And what was I gonna say? And Veruca Salt, like she was a great character, and she was very, and I love how very passionate she was to get the prize. Like she'll get anything she wants, including this great prize, but she doesn't get it by the end of it. And I really like the whole scene where she's getting the everlasting gobstoppers. Oh yeah, I like that whole plot line with Mr. Slugworth trying to get the everlasting gobstoppers, and the kids are trying to like steal it for him so they can get a lot of money. But that's not even real. Like it's just a test. Yeah, that whole part was cool. What was I gonna say? Oh, so yeah, Veruca Salt, she was great, and very pretty too. Just thought I'd say that. Who else? Oh yeah, and I like Violet Beauregard too. Violet Beauregard was another really funny one. And how she's a champion winner, and she's always been chewing this gum for 3 months straight. And yeah, like she loves gum so much. And I love, what else is there? What else was I gonna say? Oh yeah, and I love how like she's very funny too. Like whenever she's on TV, she's like, "Hey, I forgot her." Like she was saying her friend's name, but I forgot the friend's name. But she was like, "I'm on TV. Look at me and look at and let's call this for a drip." And she sticks her gum out, and the guy, she has so much funny scenes. And then what else was I gonna say? So yeah, she was hilarious. Now let's get on to my TV, which I could find a lot of relatment to my TV, honestly, because just look at me and how the way I act like I act like my TV too. How my TV loves TV so much, just like I do, and he's always watching TV just like me. Yeah, so much relatment to my TV. My TV was another really funny one. How he's always dressed up as a cowboy, and he has like this fake gun, and his dad won't let him have one until he's 12. Yeah, my TV. He was very adorable too. Yeah, my TV was great. And then Augustus Gloop, he was a good character too, but definitely the one I was least interested though, because he had the least amount of screen time too. How he was this big fat kid. I mean, he had more of a role in the remake, but I mean, a little bit more screen time in the remake, I would say. But in here, he gets very less screen time. But he was the one I was least interested in. But he was still a good character. Any other characters I should say? Oh yeah, and I really like their parents too, like, cause like they bring one member of their family to look after them, like Violet's dad, Veruca Salt's dad, how he's always giving her what she wants, but he's just so painful for her. Like you can so tell, like he feels like he's like this, like his life is hell, just handling with a very bratty daughter, and he has to give her the stuff so she could be happy. Like, and yeah, and even his mom is like, yeah, we have to do this for our kid or else she'll never be happy. Like we have to give our children all the happiness they need. And yeah, but it's too much happiness, way too much happiness. Anything else I should say? Oh yeah, and Mike TV's mom, very funny character too. Let me think. Any other characters I should talk about? Oh yeah, and then also there is the candy person, the dude in charge of the candy store in the town. He's another really enjoyable character too. Another very fun character. I love that whole opening scene. How does Willy Wonka make it? And he's like, do you ask how a bird flies or how a fish swims? No, they do it because they were born to do it. Yeah, just very entertaining scene. You can take a sunrise, sprinkle up the view, the Candyman. Okay, I can just go on with that scene. Yeah, and then there's the teacher too. That the teacher of the school that Charlie goes to. He was an enjoyable character too. And I've seen some of the old movies he did too. In the 40s when he was a 13-year-old. I've seen those cowboy movies he's done. So yeah, that's all the characters. Yeah, all the characters were amazing. Now, Now, like I said, the scenery was beautiful in this movie. How it's all in like this in this candy factory. Beautiful setting. Like I said, actors were great. The sound, yeah. Yeah, I covered most of it. The comic relief was amazing too. Like I said, the pacing was amazing too. This movie's an hour and 40 minutes, but it goes by really fast though. And yeah, and this movie was paced very well. Like all the scenes were timed really well. Uh, Let me think. And Mel Stewart did a really good job making this movie. I don't know if I've seen any other movies by him. I mean, the name does sound familiar, but I don't know if I've seen other movies by him. But he did a beautiful job making this movie. Anyone else I should talk about? Oh yeah, and this movie does get pretty suspenseful too. Like that boat scene, like that trippy boat scene, did get very suspenseful. Where Willy Wonka singing, "We don't know where we're going. We don't know which way we're going." Yeah, that scene was very trippy, very scary too. Let me think. Anything else I should say? Let me think. Oh yeah, let's talk about the other stuff that happens in this movie too, like the stuff that happens with the kids, like all the places they go to. Uh, Let me think. Oh yeah, like as you all may know, Augustus Gloop goes into the pipe, and then he goes to the fudge room. He goes to I like all the stuff that happens to them. Violet Beauregard turned into a blueberry. Like they definitely deserved all this stuff. But the thing is, one nitpick. My TV. He definitely gets it the worst out of all the kids in this movie. But he was the least rotten out of all of them, though. I mean, just thought I'd say that. I didn't think Mike deserved that to turn into very small for all eternity, and then he turns really, really big by the end of it by the Tevye Polar Machine. But that's the remake. But that happens in here too, but it's not seen in screen, though. Let me see. Oh yeah, and Veruca Salt gets thrown into the garbage compactor. Like I said, she was the least rotten, she was the most rotten, but got it the least amount of damage. Let me think. Oh yeah, the Oompa Loompa songs were pretty cool too. Like whenever the things would happen to the kids. Anything else I should talk about with this movie? So yeah, and I like the places they go to, like the place where they make the candy, and then oh yeah, and I like that scene a lot too. The scene was very satisfying. The Wonka car, when they're all getting a shower, like they're all getting showered with the soap going all over them, and then it just keeps going and going, and then they go through this line, this straight, like I don't know what they call it. I've never been the best at angles or shapes, but it's this the lines that go like that, and then they just go through it, and then right away they get clean. Like I don't know, that scene, always satisfies me. Any other scenes I should talk about? And then I like the TV room too. How it's all white. Yeah. And then, oh yeah, and let's talk about the ending to this movie now. I love the ending a lot. At first, the ending seems like a very harsh ending, where Mr. Wonka is so angry at Charlie and the grandpa. He's like, "You guys don't deserve the final reward. Like you guys failed all the rules that you signed up for." And then they all get really mad at him. Charlie's crying, and then Grandpa Joe's like, you're just a fraud. And if old Slugworth wants a everlasting gobstopper, he'll get it. Come on, Charlie, let's go. But then Charlie goes up to Mr. Wonka and he's like, "I'm sorry, Mr. Wonka," and he gives him back the everlasting gobstopper. And then Mr. Wonka's like, "Charlie, you've won." And then he wins the grand prize, and then he hugs him, and then he's like, "You've won the grand prize." And then he even ends up meeting Mr. Slugworth, and he's like, "No, that's not Slugworth. He works for me. Like, this was all just a test." Just very, very, what was I gonna say? Just very interesting turn of events, like very unexpected turn of events. And then another beautiful turn of events was when they go to the Wonkavator. This Wonkavator can go slant ways, long ways, and any other ways you can think of. You just push a button, and then we're off. And then they press the up and out button, which he had never pressed before. He's pressed all the buttons in these elevators, but he never pressed that one. And so once they do that, they go all the way up in the sky. The elevator goes all the way in the sky. And like I said, that scene was, yeah. And then he tells him like, Charlie, you gotta have the rest of. Do you know what the prize is? You gotta keep the rest of my factory. Like you can keep my factory. Like I'm getting old, and like I realize like who'll take care of my factory? Who'll take care of my recipes? Who'll take care of my Oompa Loompas? I'm getting really old, and so I thought, what if a kid can have it? Like, cause like I can't give it to an adult, cause he'll just want things his own way. But a kid can always follow the rules, and he'll know what to do. And yeah, and that was a beautiful turn of events, beautiful ending. And then he's like, and I want your other family too. Like I want to meet your other family. I want them to be a part of the factory too. Just tears everywhere. And he's like, you know, Charlie, you don't worry about the person who got everything you wanted. He lives happily ever after. And then it just ends with them going up in the clouds. Yeah, amazing ending, perfect ending. So to rate this movie, of course, this movie gets an A+. Yeah. Bye, and see you all in the next review.